Andy, I've read and heard about the use of the word turnkey. Can you tell me exactly what it means?
The term turnkey is used extensively actually in a number of industries. In the construction industry, it's generally used to describe the building phase of a project where a builder will do everything from moving onto the site and breaking ground right the way through to you being able to turn the key and move in. What the builder won't do is everything that comes before the construction, and that work's generally done by an architectural team.
So does that mean that turnkey doesn't include the design of the house?
That's right. The architectural team will do the design, get the planning permission, produce the working drawings, get the house approved by the building control department of your local authority and so on.
So would an architect look after all of that for a client?
Well, sort of. The way architectural practices generally work is, as well as doing the design, they'll also need to coordinate a raft of other professionals, from the project engineer, surveyors for ground conditions, habitat, topographical and arboricultural surveys, a SAP consultant and so on. You name it, there's quite often a long list. But most architectural practices will ask you to appoint these specialists directly. They'll normally direct you towards the relevant specialists and they'll coordinate their work, but the contracts with those specialists will be between you and them, and you will pay their bills as and when they arise. But it does make it difficult for you to know exactly how much you'll be paying in advance.
So would that cover everything a client needs to allow for to have a house designed and built?
Not quite yet. One of the things that's rarely given enough emphasis during the development of the design is cost. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but in our experience, very few architectural practices manage the design process in a way that guarantees the finalised scheme will be within the client's budget. I've actually seen a case where the architect got planning permission for a house, which would have cost the client 3 times their budget to build. We're not talking 10, 15 or 20% here, but 3 times their budget. And getting to that point had probably cost the client in excess of £10,000. They literally had to tear it up and start again.
So are you actually saying the term turnkey is used by the construction industry doesn't include perhaps 50% of what actually needs to be done?
That's right. As I say, it's usually reserved just for the construction phase of the project.
So when you use the term turnkey, what does it mean?
It's one of our fundamental principles that when we refer to turnkey, we include everything. The client shouldn't get any unpleasant surprises along the way. We do all the architectural work in-house. The fixed price we give includes all the necessary third parties we will need to complete every aspect of the house design, and we appoint the third parties, so the client has one contract with us and one point of contact. When it comes to project cost control, rather than going externally to a quantity surveyor, one of our directors is assigned to the project to ensure it stays within the client's budget. Ultimately, we reach a point where we have planning permission, building regulations, construction drawings, detailed finishes specification, a fixed price and a programme of work for the construction, and that's all taken care of by us. During the construction, we act as the contract administrator, and this role continues for 12 months after the client's moved into the house. That's known as the defects liability period. At the end of that period, the client releases the final payment. So when we refer to turnkey, it's a complete end-to-end service from the client's first embryonic idea through to a house that they can move into, and indeed beyond.
So just to recap then, am I right in thinking that turnkey design and build should include all the design, all the third-party specialists, cost planning, cost control and value engineering, construction, and looking after the client to the end of the defects liability period?
In our view, yes.